Let's do that. Okay, sweet. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 70 of Omens. I super messed that up. Anyways, I'm JayDreamerZ, and today we're going to talk about some interesting headlines and stuff. I was just saying, sorry I was late. I just got hit by another car when I was picking up my son from school. He's okay. I'm okay. He wasn't even in the car. But it was, shocking or whatever to just have somebody hit the side of my car out of nowhere. Anyways, so let me just make sure it sounds good. Everything looks good. Let's jump into the chat real quick. Thomas Lambros, Medisol Tribe, Nabia Yahwa Bat Yahwa. Let's see, we got Hughes, no sound. Yes, I saw no sound. Okay, good. It should be better now. Let's see. Hopefully it's better now. Yes, don't forget the thumbs up, says Paulo Avila. Yes, sweet. All right. So if everybody can hear me, I'll ask for a quick thumbs up, and then we're going to jump right into some crazy headlines. And the flat earth theory will be in the headlines today too. So I saved the best for last. We'll talk about that one in a minute. Kimberly, thank you for your thumbs up. That was very kind of you. All right. I just want to double check the sound real quick just to make sure you guys can hear me. I'm just going to wait and see if I get some thumbs ups, hopefully. Oh, sweet. Lots of thumbs up. All right, cool. All right. I appreciate it, everybody. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Good to see you guys. All right. Let's jump right into some headlines that we got going on. This one says, scientists make hopeful discovery deep within the Earth's crust. Could it be the key to limitless energy? So they're finding that the key to limitless energy is possibly deep within the Earth's crust. Now, that's something that we talk about as far as the plasma apocalypse goes quite often. That limitless energy is the Earth's energy. The Earth is electromagnetic, and it's always on, except for a brief short time during the neutral point of the polarity shift. I guess you could look at it as being off, but that's the limitless energy. That's the energy that they're always looking for, that doesn't ever run out. It's Earth energy. Right now, it's being drained from the surface where we live, and it's being charged down into the bowels of the Earth, which is why we're consumers, why we need to eat so much and sleep and things like that, why there's, decay in morality, and why things are the way they are in the world that we live in. But fear not, because one day that energy will shoot back up from the bowels of the Earth, and it will fill this world with energy and energize our atmosphere once again. And that will lead us back into better times. So that's what that one's sort of about for me. Next one says, India's moon rover detects unexpected subsurface movement at the moon's south pole. I don't really care about movement on the moon or anything like that. I don't care about their car that they have on the moon, allegedly, because I don't believe in the moon as it is presented. I believe in the luminary that people call the moon. And that being so, it's a light. I just like to remind everybody, because I like to remind myself, that's a light up there. If I keep on calling it like a world or a rock or the moon or whatever, and I don't go back to the original language, which is luminary, which means light, then I can start to be deceived as I look up there and start imagining that it's, something that you can land on. Also, the moon has no south pole, the real one, right? What we see in the sky is a light. Lights, I don't know if poles have lights or not, or lights have poles, but the real substance behind that projection, that projected light in the sky, is a portion of the firmament. Now, the firmament is the South Pole. So the North Pole is on the surface at the middle of the world. But the South Pole is the exterior portion of our world, which curves upwards into the dome. So the North Pole and the South Pole should be, one above the other. So that's the South Pole. That's also why you only see one side of the moon all the time, because the moon, the real moon, is a dome above us. An inverted dome facing down, the all-seeing eye, etc. All right, next up, we got SpaceX, Dragon fires. SpaceX Dragon fires thrusters to boost the ISS orbit for the first time. Now, I want to talk about this, right? I looked up how high up is the ISS. Where is the Kármán line? Where do things float? Where does 0G begin in, space up there and stuff? And the ISS is in that area. And then they use words like this. Basically, they had another space plane go up there and gently like use boosters or thrusters to thrust the ISS and push it, you know, back on course or wherever they wanted it to be. I have a problem with them using this word though, based on their cosmology, which I'm going to rip on here at the end of the show. Thrust is inappropriate. You can't thrust in zero gravity in the vacuum of space. That's an impossibility. The only thing that, you know, the fans of the government, NASA and everyone, the only thing that they will say is that, well, yes, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, etc., and so on and so forth. They can't use words like thrust because to thrust is to push against something. When you're in space, you have nothing to push against. You're not pushing against anything. So imagine being in the middle of an ice skating rink, right? And you're told that you're not allowed to move your legs. The only way you can get back off of the ice to the exterior of the ice skating rink is to just push in front of you, because for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So you should be able to just push the air as hard as you can, and eventually you'll thrust yourself all the way back to the edge of the ice skating rink where you can go back to safety. That logic is sound, that would not work, right? You apply that exact same logic to thrusting against absolutely nothing in the vacuum and void of space. You're not going to turn. You're not going to move. You're not going to go forward or backwards. Space will be welcoming all of that extra energy into it. So that doesn't work, okay? Now, if space is within our atmosphere, between here and the dome and the space between the two physical objects, then you can use little spritzes of air. You can use rockets and stuff because there's still enough atmosphere to push against. You're not actually in a vacuum. All right, next up. Oh, let me see a picture. Do I have a picture? Sometimes they put these pictures of the moon. I'll be sharing some pictures of the moon. They're so funny. All right, this one says fiery fate, hyperactive sun. The sun is hyperactive. That means way more active than usual. The hyperactive sun sends Australian satellites crashing back to Earth. I'd say this is a pretty big omen. Whenever the satellites start falling back down to the Earth and they don't stay up there or whatnot, they're coming up with a lot of reasons why. But as you'll see here in a bit, we're seeing a lot of stuff happen in the sky. We're seeing a lot of lights, strange anomalous lights and things happening in the sky, things falling out of the sky a lot lately too. And I don't believe that those satellites are going to last. That's just a sneaking suspicion that I have. I think that there will come a time when every satellite up there will drop back down, catch on fire, and fall back down to the Earth. I don't think that they'll be able to stay up there for that long. If they are even up there. But yeah, satellites crashing back to Earth, that's also symbolic of the omen, the stars falling, and the stars will fall. Now, if you believe in the academic model of the Earth, then you cannot believe in the literal prophecy that's in the Bible. I don't understand how Christians can also support the government at all, like in any political avenue or whatever. I don't know how they can do that, because the Bible says that the stars will fall to the Earth. So if the stars are what academics say and NASA and your governments, that can't happen. And like obviously that would be the end of the world, because all the stars crashing together for some anomalous reason here at Earth would destroy everything. So people that still really love their government and root for the government and whatever, they'll make excuses and they'll adapt the literal prophecy of the stars falling in the book of Revelation, and there's other scriptures too. And they'll say, no, that's just like, it'll look like the stars are falling and whatnot. No, the stars will fall from the heavens. Okay. They're inside of the dome. They're under the dome. And there will come a time whenever they appear to be leaving and moving all at the same time, like just racing down across the sky, falling to the Earth. And that's going to happen. So that's symbolic of what you see here, the satellites crashing back to Earth, right? And then what else did I want to say about that? That's pretty much it. That's a huge omen. All right, so go to the next one. What was the fireball in the sky over North Texas? I don't know. But let's check it out. I want to see this video.
Well, if you're looking up to the sky last last night, you might have seen something interesting. There was a cluster of orange trails in the sky spotted across North Texas and parts of Oklahoma, Colorado, and Kansas. And it wasn't a meteor, but something man-made. Meteorologist Dylan Federico joining us with more on what we actually saw up in the sky overnight. Dylan?
Yeah, and that's right, Blake. Overnight, we had some reports of a potential meteor, but turns out it was just a Starlink satellite, which are designed to break up over the sky. So
you see how these guys have no fear, like no worry. It turns out it was just a satellite, just a Starlink satellite. That's it. No cause for alarm. Like, they don't tell people like, hey, it's projected to land in this area. Make sure you buy your satellite coverage insurance right now or whatever. Like, what do they think? It just disappears? Like, is that what they think happens when things fall from the sky, that they just incinerate, like completely just get, disappear at the molecular level or something? Yeah, the fireball. So there's a lot of fireball symbolism that I've seen lately. That's why I pulled this up. And it's interesting. They keep calling them fireballs, even meteorites, right? They're calling those fireballs too, or at least what they say are meteorites. There's a lot of fireballs falling from the sky. This is one of the symbolic elements that you'll see when you watch The Wizard of Oz. They're on their way to the North Pole, which is symbolic of, the transition between the old world and the new world, and there has to be an apocalyptic event. So on their way to Oz, which is Rupus Nigra, or the North Pole, or Hyperborea, or Eden, on their way back home to Oz, they encounter the witch, and she's throwing fireballs, right? So this is one of the omens that people see. Like, the sky lights up on fire, and fire drops from the heavens, and it starts to do that more and more and more the closer we get to the end times. Next up, it says scientists warn that a key Atlantic current could collapse, among other climate tipping points. So the North Atlantic Current is something we went over when we broke down and decoded The Day After Tomorrow. Remember that movie? They talked about that whole movie is right on point. That's happening to us. We are living in that movie and so many other movies. But the North Atlantic Current shuts down because of all of the melting of the ice, the glaciers, and icebergs and stuff, that it pours in more fresh water and it disrupts the North Atlantic Current, which means if that gets disrupted, you'll see even more severe weather in specifically places like the UK and England and Northeast America and stuff like that. And that will also tip over the next domino in the cycle. So that movie was prophetic. If you haven't watched my decode on The Day After Tomorrow, I highly recommend it. Next up, it says, scientists propose shocking new theory of the origin of the moon. You guys want to see the moon? Look, they put a picture in there. There it is. There's the moon. You ever notice when they have these articles, they don't ever put like a real picture of the moon? And, they'll put like, oh, look, it's a picture from Shutterstock. It doesn't even say if it's real or not, but I mean, obviously it's not. Like, it's not even an attempt at a real picture of the moon. This is just straight up PlayStation graphics and garbage. And they just put this all over the, if you look up pictures of Mars, you'll get 4K images. You'll get flying helicopter drone videos for minutes at a time. You'll get Mars car. What do they call that? Mars rover. You'll get Mars rover images and stuff in 4K, and you can see the detail and the graininess on the rocks and stuff. You look up pictures of the moon, and all you'll get is pictures allegedly from like, the end of the 60s and the beginning of the 70s. And a whole lot of grainy, horrible looking stuff. Like, this is a better picture of the moon than the ones that they come up with that say are real authentic ones from the moon. It's probably why they use these pictures, because they actually look better, even though they look terrible. Right? So yeah, that's supposed to be the moon right there, but that's not. That's just a fake old picture, because nobody has ever landed on the moon. Okay? The moon is a light. I just want to repeat that. All right, next up we got, this is interesting. So this is about them putting like power armor on top of these new robots, these human robots, and they're giving them skin, but it's like super powerful skin. So it says soft as skin, strong as steel. Powerful magnetic muscles lift 1,000 times their weight. So they're giving them these new exoskeletal skins and stuff, and using super powerful magnets and whatnot, so that they can give the humanoid robots that they're mass producing, and they want to put one in every home or two. They're giving them super strong muscles that can lift 1,000 times their weight. I don't know. Like, does that sound like a good idea? Be honest. There's so many. That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. Come on. We don't have to explain why, right? All right, next up. Oh, the comet. Yes, with the anti-tail. The anti-tail. Astrophotographer captures Comet Atlas, we'll say, growing an anti-tail. Okay. I want to talk about this anti-tail. Now, it's the tail in front of the comet is what it is. The last time I looked this up, the explanation I was given is that this little tail right here, that's actually way far away, and that's the last path that the comet took, and it just happens to line up perfectly with the comet, like right on. And the Earth is at just the perfect, degree so that it lights up all that old comet gas from whenever it made its rounds that way last time, and it's still there. And yeah, it's lighting up perfectly just ahead of the comet. We also pointed out that if that's the case, you should have a whole anti-tail that stretches across the entire sky behind the comet, but you don't. You just have like a laser beam that's in front of this comet. Now, this article has a different explanation. This says a second tail made up of charged particles pushed away from comets by solar radiation and solar wind. So according to this article, they don't have their story straight, do they? According to this article, it's a laser beam of light that shoots out of the front of the comet for space reasons. I swear to God, that's what that means, okay? Now, if you believe that, that's fine. Okay? You can believe whatever you like to believe. I'm just saying that doesn't sound reasonable or logical to me. What does sound reasonable and logical to me is that this right here is a chromatic aberration, an optical effect whenever light passes through abnormalities that are on the dome above us, and those abnormalities cause the light to pass through places that they didn't before, hitting the edges of domes and craters and whatnot that's up there, and it creates these optical effects that we call comets or chromatic aberrations. There's lots of different kinds of those. Whenever the light focuses enough, you can get it to create more of a laser effect that goes through as well. It just depends on the area that it hits. But blue comet in the sky with the laser at the front. It's like a heat-seeking comet. I don't know what that is. To me, that's just more proof that there is a firmament. There is a dome above us, okay? I don't believe in slushy snowballs flying through space. Where did they come from? What are they doing? That's where the oceans came from, is a million of these bad boys just slammed into the earth and didn't throw it off course and melted and created the oceans, all beautiful and whatever. I don't believe that story, okay? I also don't believe that this tail being like 500 million miles long or however many million miles long it is, I don't believe that this head of the comet just eternally, keeps reproducing itself so that it can just keep regenerating its tail. If you picked up all the debris from 500 million miles, you're going to have, that's like a planet or a star or something. They need to reclassify comets. Yeah, so that's all I got for that. Boom. All right, let's see what else we got. Watch. Ghostly white humanoid robot with water-powered muscles unveiled. Now, this is what they're starting to look like. They're starting to give them muscle structure, super powerful muscles, realistic skin. They're grafting on actual skin and organs and stuff for these. They're growing brains for robots and all kinds of stuff. They're making them as human as possible when they don't need to be. Why do you think that might be? Check this out. So I'll play like a little tiny clip from this right here. So this is the robot, and he starts moving around. He moves his arms out. Oh, you can't really see that. So they got him moving around. He can reach out for you and grab you by the neck, or I don't know what they're trying to demonstrate here. But yeah, that's where robots are going. We're like designing and building our own demise through the robot apocalypse. Have fun with that. All right, next up. Emperor penguin turns up on an Australian beach, thousands of miles from home. I'd say this is a pretty huge sign. I always tell you guys to watch the migrational patterns of animals and see whenever there's these omens and signs and news stories and stuff of animals ending up in places that they have no earthly business being, that they seem to have flown off course or swam off course, or that they're changing their migrational patterns or whatever. This is a huge one, right? This dude left Antarctica and went to Australia. So that's a pretty big sign and an omen. I would guess he's probably not the only one, but I don't know. But yeah, watching these birds end up in strange places, whales are leaving their normal, migrational patterns and homes and stuff, and they're all seem to be headed north. I will also point that out. He went north, those whales went north, everything's starting to creep northwards. This one kind of irritates me. I want to read this. Secret meanings of ancient Amazon rock art revealed. Let me show you the rock art. Let's check this out. So this is the rock art in question, and they're going to reveal the ancient meaning of this rock art. What do you guys think? Let me jump in the chat. What do you guys think that they're going to say the meaning of this rock art is? Like they know what it means. Like they've discovered the mystery. Let me jump in here and see what do you guys think? What do you think that they're going to say that this rock art is trying to tell us? Here's the rock art. Right? You got like some giant looking creature here. There's obviously a whole village of people that are like, right in front of this gigantic, look at this. Let me make that bigger. You see that? You see this huge creature, and there's like a little baby huge creature, and there's a whole bunch of little stick people right here, right? And then you got like some other creature that has a really long thing attached to it, attached to this together. You got circles with all these little dots, like huge circles, and some of them have waves and stuff. Then you got more circles with dots. Then you got like these wavy lines and stuff. All these people holding hands up here. What do you guys? And then there's obviously like people here in some sort of lion or something right there, or scorpion. I don't know what that is. Ah, I just showed you the answer. Damn it! Let me see. Hold on. Let me check the chat. Oh, that they're hunting. Okay, well, they don't say that they were hunting. It might be a giant sloth. A huge mantis, yes. Some ancient civilizations. Oh, caveman on mushrooms. That's a good guess. They say that a lot, actually. Yeah, they were all just high. They just got high and did cave paintings for fun, I guess. All right, so here's what they say about these cave paintings. They figured it out. The answer, according to them, is researchers propose in the paper that the rock art is associated with ritual specialists, that means like shaman, negotiating spiritual realms, as well as the interrelation between the human and supernatural worlds. So they're saying what this is a picture of is this is the imagination of some shaman that was high on drugs. So you guys got it right, basically. Some of you guys got it right. They're saying that they're depicting like the spirit world. This is definitely not the physical earth, obviously. They're not drawing that. They're just drawing like, the spirit world that they're going into. So they also go on to say, rather than a literal record of the environment, they say indigenous descendants of the original artists have recently explained to us that the rock art motifs that are here do not simply reflect what the artist saw in the real world. They really want to make the point that this is not stuff that people saw in the real world. Like, why would they really drive that point home? Unless that's like, something that people were considering. Of course it is. I think it is. Right? People drew what they saw. They're not drawing like they're just imagining this is the spirit world. Not only that, but this is just one of thousands and maybe millions that all have the same and similar stories. This one's interesting. Scientists found a yellow brick road at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Check that out. And they don't just call it the yellow brick road. They call it the yellow brick road to Atlantis, is what this is aptly being named. The road to Atlantis, the yellow brick road. So one person said, this is so bizarre. Are you kidding me? This is crazy. And it says it's located under about 1,000 meters of ocean. And they're calling it an ancient lake bed. But as you can see, it looks like, brick. Yellow brick down there. Now, for me, this is an important omen because I talk about how the sun is intensifying, that it's becoming more focused, as are all of the luminaries. And then as a part of this, one day it will become so focused that it's dangerous to go outside because you will burn and it will hurt you and it will set things on fire and stuff, right? When that day comes, when the daylight passes over muddy areas like this, then it will create a yellow brick road and it will spiral in towards the North Pole or Oz, and it will bake those portions of the earth along the way. All right, next up, India. Why some states want people to have more children. They're being confronted by a severe dip in fertility rates. India is facing a fertility problem. But guess what? It's not just India. It's the whole world. Russian lawmakers pass a bill banning child-free propaganda. So anything that promotes not having a child is going to be considered propaganda, and, you know, they're going to start handling that, basically. They say, without children, there will be no country. I mean, wasn't this fantasy? Like, I don't know, 20 years ago? Wasn't this just fiction? Wasn't this like the things of movies where people couldn't have babies anymore? Right? Russia's facing an aging population. China's facing an aging population. India's facing an aging population. Russia also plans to boost birth rates by introducing a ministry of sex. Doesn't that kind of sound like 1984? Right? Now, that's not going to work because, you know, people are not being allowed to have babies anymore. Hey, Spirit and Truth, Wendy just gifted 5 JayDreamerZ channel memberships to people in the chat. Congratulations, everybody. You all very much deserve it. Eric Ibu Elliott, good to see you. Ministry of Sex. What do you guys think about that? Doesn't that sound like some 1984 stuff, right? So they're going to start giving away rewards. Mr. E, what's up? Prizes for people to go have sex, to attempt to have children. I'm pretty sure some people will take full advantage of this. I don't know what this is going to turn into. But Ministry of Sex, here's what they're saying. Here's some of the key proposals that are made to boost the birth rates in Russia. Number 1, no internet and light. After 10 p.m., between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., they're going to turn off the lights so that people can get romantic. They're also going to turn off the internet in hopes that people will stop staring at their phones and look at each other. Incentives for mothers. They're going to pay money to stay-at-home women who are raising their children and doing housework. And this is one of the suggestions they have. They're just going to pay chicks to stay at home and cook and clean. Sweet. I mean, if you can have a baby, that's a sweet spot to be in, if that's you. They're going to pay you to go out on first dates. Another suggestion is that the government will start paying people for their first dates, up to 5,000 rubles. Sweet. There's going to be a lot of first dates. Like, I'm pretty sure they should probably have a limit on that. Wedding night payment. They're going to pay for your wedding night and all this stuff. Interesting. So they're going to start a ministry of sex in Russia. Basically, this is the movies coming to life, right? The Handmaid's Tale, Children of Men, you know, there's a couple popular ones that pop to mind. The movies are prophetic. They're showing you what's going to happen and what has happened, right? A lot of times they're stories about the past, but those stories are cyclical and they will happen again. So you can learn a lot by watching the movies. But this definitely is something we've been warned about. The fertility rates are dropping. People are too dumb to have children. I don't even want them to have children. I'm fine with that. They're too dumb. They're too sick. They're too toxic. You know, the world is just ridding itself of the problem. Next up. Oh, this is pretty cool. So this is in Alaska, I believe.
This is insane.
It's hard to overstate just how spectacular this aurora was over North Pole, Alaska. A geomagnetic storm created the dazzling display on Sunday, November 10th.
You see how it's swirling up there?
From a thin line that seemed to stretch to the ground to a swirling explosion of pink and green that filled the sky.
This is just the beginning.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, you just wait, buddy. So this is exactly what you see in your little plasma balls you know, at the mall, or if you have one, I have one. You're going to see these all over the place. This is Grandmother Spider. Say hello. Grandmother Spider, Cthulhu, I'd like you to meet the Good Vibe Tribe. Okay, you're going to see all these little tentacles, spider webs, you know, however people interpret them or whatever. You're going to see these all over the place. They're probably not going to be green, though. These green ones are nice. These are the good ones. This is a river of spirit up at the North Pole. Well, I mean, I don't know. It could be in Michigan for all I know. Oh, it's in Alaska. This one's in Alaska. But anyways, one day you'll see the red versions of this, and they will come down and they will touch the ground, and they'll split off at the ends and look like they're walking, like titans moving about on the earth, shaping the world as they petrify and whatnot as they go. Next up, meet the AI robot whose artwork sold for over $1 million. Check this out.
My artwork is a portrait of Alan Turing, the brilliant British mathematician who laid the foundation for modern computing and artificial intelligence. The portrait has a fractured and layered quality, reflecting our current fragmented and multifaceted world. Okay,
time out. That's fine. That's enough of that. So, somebody paid $1 million. Paid a robot $1 million. There's millionaire robots now. Imagine when they put the skin on them and the suit, give them the superpowers and all this stuff. Like, dude, what's happening here? What's going on with the world that we live in? Are we that dumb? Yes, apparently. Okay. They're giving robots all of your jobs. They're making robots look exactly like you, and they're letting robots sell their artwork for millions of dollars and giving robots millions of dollars. I have nothing more, nothing further to say. And then they're giving them millions of dollars to draw hellish horror pictures. I don't know what that is. Yeah. $1 million, man. A robot in an hour made more money than I have ever made in my entire life. That's crazy. Brentwood native Lauren Arkell shoots for the moon with Firefly's Blue Ghost. Basically, I'm going to sum this one up. This chick works for, is it NASA? Hold on, is it NASA? SpaceX. Okay, fine. All right, so this chick basically works for SpaceX, right? And she's super excited. And if I press play right now, she's going to tell you how excited she is to work on this project because we're going to the moon. Problem is, we're not going to the moon. She's not going to the moon. No human is going to the moon. She's working on a project behind the scenes to look at a computer and monitor numbers and stuff for a robot that's allegedly going to the moon. Shooting for the moon is a phrase that's talking about leaving the firmament. Okay? They're exploring the firmament. They're tapping the firmament. They're trying to blow up the firmament. They're trying to get out of this world because these are bad times. People are aging. People are dying. Even the elite themselves are dying. And they've run out of, solutions to that issue of their longevity. So they want out. They're trying to go past the moon or go to the dark side of the moon or go into the moon or through the moon or shoot for the moon or however they want to say it. They're trying to get out of this world. The missing link to Snowball Earth. Jeez, academics. I can't wait until I get to this part where they're making fun of flat earthers. The missing link to Snowball Earth has finally surfaced. Snowball Earth. A bunch of snowballs, comets, dirty snowballs. This is actually how they refer to comets, dirty snowballs. Doesn't that sound dumb? That's dumb. They say that a bunch of dirty snowballs hit the Earth, and then those snowballs collectively made the Earth into a snowball Earth. Right? The Earth froze over, and this is what it looked like so long ago. No, this is what it looks like now. You have just taken the plane of existence and you've warped it around itself. That's the firmament. Okay, that's what your world would look like if you wrapped it in a real ball and you kept the firmament on there because it's made out of ice. Right? So that's the firmament. I don't want to get into too much detail about this stupid snowball Earth theory. I don't believe in it. I believe in cyclical cataclysms. through polarity shifts and stuff. And I also believe that there's a portion of the firmament that will fall down around the Arctic Circle and it'll break open just like Humpty Dumpty. But I don't believe that in the whole entire Earth just being covered in snow. It will be covered in vapor, which is also white like this. But yeah, I don't believe in that. Why thousands are gathering around a rancid dead whale by the world's biggest lake. So all these people are checking out this dead whale. It's not really a dead whale. It's a statue. So they built this statue and they moved this whale around from place to place, putting it on display as an artwork piece to raise awareness about like the Earth heating up and the dangers of stuff like that. But specifically, the human-caused climate crisis. That's why I really wanted to even share this. They're blaming humans. You people, hey, humans. Humans are so pompous, man. They think they're the best thing since sliced bread. Like, oh, we did. The apocalypse is coming. It must be us. Like, you know how tiny you are compared to the Earth? No matter, it doesn't matter, you know, if you're in mass, like a bunch of rabbits and lemmings, and you just, had a bunch of babies. You're not affecting the Earth. Trust me. Okay? The Earth is huge, and you live in it. It's gigantic. I don't care how much pollutants. I don't care how much smog there was in LA or Mexico or whatever. I don't care about the Industrial Revolution. The Earth puts out way more carbon into the atmosphere than you all and all of your ancestors going back forever ever did. Look it up, and I'm sure you'll come to the same conclusions. All right, next up, final supermoon of 2024 rises this week. There won't be another supermoon until next October. I think this is weird. Nobody talked about supermoons when I was a kid. Okay? So I really thought about it. And I'm like, when did people start talking about supermoons? Is this written in antiquity? Like, did they have supermoons when I go and research the historic record? I can't find examples of that. You know, the most recent examples I can find is like 1979 and on. Supermoons all of a sudden. Times when the moon just gets really big and then really small and then really big and then really... Now I know that academics will say that's just apogee and perigee and it's, you know, the moon's getting a little closer, a little further away. It's always done that forever. Okay, well, I don't see any records of that. I don't hear anything about that in, you know, comparative mythology or anything. To me, this indicates that the luminaries are going into flux. That's what that is telling me. If you can look at it from 1979 when this term was first coined to today, all the supermoons are getting bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller. And then they show you this color too. This yellow moon, right? When in reality, like this is the same thing. They show you the yellow sun all the time. They make that sun yellow or orange. They make sure to do that because they don't want you to see the real color. They don't want you to look up at the sun, at the moon and see that it's blindingly white. Because it's going through a color spectrum shift and it's the light behind it is focusing more and more and more. The moon is creating crisp shadows. No longer has diffuse light creating blurry shadows. These are all omens of the apocalypse. Massive exploding methane craters are tearing Siberia apart. And scientists finally know why. Check this out. Scientists, whoever they are, uncover the mechanics behind Siberia's explosive craters as warming drives methane release. Check this out. Gigantic holes in the ground are blowing up as the gases within the earth are coming out. This is a huge omen of the apocalypse. And this is something we talk about quite often here on my channel. The gases that Mother Nature is releasing as she's about to give birth. Pretty soon, places like that, they're going to have beams that come out as those gases rush out so fast all at once when the hollow earth depressurizes. It'll come up here to the surface, and those gases will ionize, and you'll see a beam of light shoot right up out of this hole right here. But you're seeing this all over the place, okay? You're seeing a lot of symbolism for it in shows like The Outer Range. That features like gigantic holes in the ground that basically go down into the hollow earth or back in time or whatever. You know, gigantic holes opening up around the world. sinkholes. And they act like this is normal. Another sinkhole opened up and blah, 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 blah. No problem. No worries. This is what happened. But when their sinkholes are happening the world across, everywhere, even in like huge metropolitan areas, like cars are falling into sinkholes, you know, this is indicative that Mother Earth is about to give birth. She's releasing all of her gases right now. That's why people are starting to get taller. That's why you're starting to see more lights in the sky and earthquake lights and UFOs and stuff. All these gases are coming out. Sometimes they ionize, sometimes they combust and start wildfires. But this is what you're seeing all over the place, holes in the ground. Okay, these holes, these are a huge omen of the apocalypse. The gases are being released. You see this all over the place, just holes opening up everywhere. Look at that. Truck just falls in. I saw one where the earth got swallowed by the earth. Then there was liquefaction and stuff. It sank into this water. All right, now let's check this one out. This is going to be, I'm going to slam on Neil deGrasse Tyson. Pretty bad right now. I don't like that dude. I just don't like him as a human being, as a person. He seems haughty. He seems like a know-it-all. He's very patronizing and condescending. Look at this version that they chose to put in here, where the United States takes up half the Earth. That's a real NASA picture. And they prominently display this on their thumbnail. And it's not even the subject of their discussion. All right, hold on. So this says, why does everything look flat even though the Earth is round? That's a question that was submitted by a child. This is a section called Curious Kids. This entire thing is written for your children by a professor of geology in college. Okay, somebody that was told this is the truth and you need to pass my test or you're not going to get a job, basically. Why does everything look flat even though the Earth is round? Asks an 11-year-old from Corona, California, which actually used to live in Corona, California. Good question, Zayden. I'm going to answer your question for you. But first, they put this video sort of as an explainer video, and it's got Neil deGrasse Tyson and his comic relief buddy. Okay? I don't like this guy either because he has nothing to contribute. All he ever does is kiss his ass. He kisses Bill Nye deGrasse Tyson's ass so much, man, like all the time. That's all he's there for. He's like, yeah, and then he cracks a joke. This guy is like high all of the time. Just always high. And he's belittling. He explains things like in a kindergarten kind of way. I don't ever hear him say anything that's intelligent. Let me give you an example. Let me show you the first thing he says in this video.
You look around the universe, round is a thing.
Unless you look around the universe, round is a thing. Let me go back here. You look. This is your mascot for intelligence. For like the intelligence. He looks like a Muppet. Doesn't he look like a Muppet? He does look like a Muppet. This is your mascot, okay? For intelligent people. For like the best of the best and the cream of the crop, intellectually speaking. And listen to how he speaks. He talks like this all of the time, okay? And people, dumb people, listen to it, and they love that he's patronizing them and speaking down to them like they're a child. And he's also spellcasting and putting spells in your head. But listen to what he says.
You look around the universe, round is a thing.
Round is a thing. No, round is not a thing. First of all, that's an unintelligent way to speak, okay? Just stop. You're going too far. Stop it, okay? I hate, personally, I'm getting old, but I hate it when people say, yeah, it's a thing or whatever, okay? Use your vocabulary. Like, I'm sorry. Use some form of vernacular, okay? Don't speak to me in emoji. I don't like that. Round is a thing. Everything is a thing, okay? You're just being redundant, and you're not making any case. Like, if this was a court of law, you can't just go in there. I mean, maybe in the idiocracy world we live in now, you can go into court and say, she's guilty, Your Honor. It's a thing. And there's like, wow, case closed. Man, you made a good point. Look into space and round is a thing. Listen to this next garbage.
Unless, of course, you are how shall we say, an alternate thinker, someone who likes to embrace the unusual.
Unless round is a thing, unless we'll say you're like an alternate thinker. And this doofus is laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
With the word flat in it.
Yeah, you like.
So they're laughing. This guy over here is talking about flat earthers. Okay. And I'm defending them. I will also check them if I feel like, they're in the wrong too. But these are two bullies. This is a jock mentality. This isn't your Dungeons and Dragons nerds, hanging out during lunchtime in the cafeteria, minding their business, fighting magic wizards and stuff. Okay. These are jocks. These are intellectual bullies. And this is how they begin this presentation that's supposed to be addressed to a child, 11 years old. The first thing they did was put into that child's mind that it's okay to make fun of other people with a different worldview. You need to let that sink in.
Discs. You believe in discs.
You believe in discs. And then you got DeGrasse Tyson over there laughing his butt off. They're having a good time laughing at the expense of others who have alternative theories or ideas or perspectives. That's not good. That's not okay. That's not intelligent. Okay. The mark of intelligence is not, I can make fun of you. I can put you down. I can laugh at you. That's not a mark of intelligence. It's a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of wisdom. These people don't know what they're talking about. They're Muppets and puppets and mascots. They're cartoons, man.
Believe in discs.
Discs. So there's no motherfucking discs in space? How about your disc galaxies and your disc rings around planets and, you know what I mean? Your globular crap doesn't make any sense. All your discs should be globular or all your globes should be discs. But they want the best of both worlds. Okay, well, I don't want to play all this or whatever. This dude's going to go on this huge rant, talking very slowly. How long does he talk? 10 minutes, dude. This guy talks for 10 minutes and to make like one point because he talks like he's talking to a child. Okay. And he tries to tell it in story form. And this is what preachers do. Okay. Preachers hypnotize their congregations through this sort of like really imagine this, right? I can change the tone of my voice and send it to you. Like exactly how I just spoke. Okay, I can do that too. But this is how these people speak. They're casting spells. And people are hypnotized. And they don't know any better. They don't research on their own. So they figure, this guy's the guy on the video. This guy's the guy that told me that it's okay to laugh at people and that circles are round as a thing. That's one of the things that he'll say too. He'll address that because morons, right? When they hear about flat earth theory or whatever, they'll say the earth is round. And immediately, you should not even engage in that conversation, okay? Round is circular, okay? Spherical, that's round, yes. A circle is round, a penny, a pancake, those are all round things. So when you hear people say, it's round, that's like me whenever I hear Christians call it the book of Revelations with an S. I'm just like, wow, whatever you're about to say, I'm not super invested in because you started off wrong. Anyways, I don't like this guy, okay? I don't believe anything he says. It doesn't add up. I don't believe in spritzes in air and the vacuum of space and thrust pushing people left and right and slowing people down and speeding them up and millions and billions of miles away. There's another planet with a car and a helicopter and they can live stream video and remote control, drive it around with a joystick, but there's nothing happening on the moon. There's no bases on the moon. There's no Starbucks on the moon. There's just a bunch of trash and debris and then they leave cameramans on the moon so they can watch themselves take back off into space, and like nothing about any of their theories add up anymore. They beg questioning and re-examination for me. I'm just saying. But aside from all that, I just wanted to make the point. I want to make an example of this douchebag right here and this one, okay? These people are wrong. If at any point they have ever been treated bad or bullied because of intelligence or their preferences or whatever, they have now become that which they hate. All right. I don't believe this is right. It's not right. I don't care about, how you pronounce the name of God, and you're doing it wrong, and you're stupid, and I think the earth is this shape, and you're a globe tard, and you're a flat tard, and all this stuff. Right or wrong, you're a bad person if that's what you do. To me, okay? That's all I see is just evil people, bad people. I don't care if it's right or if it's wrong. You're wrong for just being a bad person, okay? So shame on you, Neil deGrasse Tyson, for starting off looking like a Muppet.
You look around the universe.
And then you say you look around the universe. Okay, nobody looks around the universe. Okay, you people make up stories about how you look around the universe. There is a dome above your head. There are luminaries under that dome in this closed system that you cannot escape from, and lights underneath that dome. That is your universe for now, okay? Until it opens up and the East Gate opens and you can watch the hand of God reach down and, petrify things or whatever. So shame on you for starting off like that. Okay. We look up and there's only a few things that you see. You see stars, you see the moon, you see the sun. And you might see a comet or, fireballs and things that we've been discussing, right? But there is no like universe that extends forever and ever and ever. You people are just staring at the ceiling, like the characters in the Black Hole Sun video from Soundgarden. They're all staring up at the ceiling fan with that dumb look on their face. Yeah, that's academics.
Round is a thing.
Round is a thing. Thank you so much for your intelligent opinion. Appreciate it. Why don't you go hang out with the kindergartners or, whatever come after millennials. I don't know. Anyways, that's really all I got about that. Anything else here? Let's see. Oh, I want to talk about this article too, actually. Ever since the ancient Greeks. That's so funny. Ancient Greeks. Like when? When is the ancient Greeks? Ever since the ancient Greeks first made observations of the circular moon and the skies, okay, scientists have known that the earth is a sphere. Do you see how they write this garbage? Scientists, as in all of them, ever, across time, even during the ancient Greeks' times. All of the ancient Greeks, everywhere, every single one of them, those magic practicing, frickin' God believing in, Titan worshipping Greeks, all of them knew the earth was a sphere. No, buddy. Like, just because you might have one or two Greeks that may have thought such a thing, that doesn't mean that they were the majority. The majority of the people believed the earth was flat and a plane of existence and had a dome over it, and that there was hollow recesses underneath your feet. That's what most people across time have ever believed. All right? Look it up. Scientists have known. No, you don't know anything. There's nothing that you know, okay? There's no such thing as knowing. There's temporary knowing. There's temporary acceptance. There's temporary perspectives. But if you know something, then you're done, okay? And none of you are done. The game's not over yet, all right? Don't get me wrong. You need to pretend like you know some stuff because it makes life easy sometimes. But scientists have known that the earth is a sphere. No, they have not, okay? Most of the scientists at the time, or people that even studied anything, their belief system didn't have some spinning ball, wacko, crazy theory that they have today. All right, so don't believe that garbage. We've all seen beautiful images. You notice it doesn't say photographs of the Earth from space. Yeah, the space between here and the dome. Let's see. Remotely orbiting satellites. Why doesn't our planet look round? Yeah, they need to start saying like a ball. Don't say round, because that's open to interpretation. Say a ball. Say a potato. Say, what does Neil deGrasse Tyson, what shape does he call it? A pear. I swear to God, this dude calls the earth pear-shaped. He believes in the pear earth, but he thinks flat earth is stupid. When we're standing on a park, blah, 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 the answer is all about perspective, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I could see, how people could believe that. That's what they were told, so that's what they're going to see. But yeah, children are asking, why is it that everything looks flat? Why are you saying it's round? Good question, kids. Good question. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. All right, cool. Well, that's about it for today. That's all I got for everybody. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for being kind and participating. Good to see you. Hopefully you leave me some nice comments and I'll check them out later. Until then, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.